Blub blub. Hello, everybody. As my voice cracks, my name is Kraken Latte, and this is.
Hi, I'm Canary.
Welcome.
What's up, y'all?
Yes, this is Canary. Welcome back to, you guessed it, Kraken and Canary, our aptly named podcast where we talk about dun 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 opinions. The controversial opinions.
Our controversial, highly unpopular opinions, but there are opinions and we like them.
Yes, we don't care if you don't like them. Ha! I said it. So, as you no doubt saw the title of this one, this episode we're going to talk about leveling, specifically the future of it and what we would like for it. So, what we'd like for the future of leveling, just like in the past couple episodes, since this is still a new series, I have a bunch of points I'm going to go over, and we're going to talk about it. So,
if you guys don't know, we level a lot.
Yes, we do.
We have some opinions.
That is an excellent point. If you don't know us very well and you just found this episode for some reason, we are leveling fiends. I have just under 300 characters, 3/4 of which are almost at max level now. So
yeah, I only have 40-something. It's piddling. I know. It's sad.
Yeah, but I've also been doing it for a long time, so.
This is true.
We like leveling. So this is, as someone who actually likes leveling in World of Warcraft, which apparently not a lot of people do. I don't know, but
weird for a
apparently that's weird.
Game.
Yeah, for a game that's like half leveling. Anyways, this is our points on this. So first, I have this in two sections. The new expansion. This is, to preface this, this is based on what has just happened in Shadowlands. In the pre-patch to Shadowlands, a level squish has taken place. In case you haven't been playing and you don't know, instead of 1 to 120 now, 120 is no longer the cap. The new current cap is level 60, just like it used to be in Classic/Vanilla. So, this is playing off of that. So when I say a new expansion, I'm talking about 10.0 and onwards. So,
yes.
Now that you have that in mind, I have this in two categories: the level 60/new X pack and the Chromie time /1 through 60, because that's what that will be after next expansion. So, we're going to start with the new expansion portion. And the first one might get some curled lips, but no new level cap. No future rollbacks. So let that.
Why, Kraken? What do you mean?
Why, Canary? Thank you for asking. Wow, that's so cringe. But no, I mean it. No new level cap. I mean, we don't get, because it was kind of tradition that when a new expansion came out, you would add 5 to 10 levels, 5 or 10. And I have to say 5 or 10 because a couple expansions were 5. But, roughly it was usually 10 levels. So if we were to go to 10.0 right now and they kept the old system of leveling, we would get
10.0.
Yeah, we would get. Yeah, if you don't know why she's drooling over there, go watch our first episode. Spoilers in the first episode, but 10.0.
Yeah. Sorry.
Anyway, you're getting me distracted now. I don't even know what I was saying anymore. Jeez. Oh, right. Level caps. If they continue, we would have to get to level 70. There'd be 10 more levels, or maybe 5, but probably 10, that we would have to do in 10.0. And, that means in the next few expansions, it's going to get to 120 again, it's going to feel bloated again, and they're going to have to roll back again. And to me, doing something as heavy as they did, like this new leveling Chromie time system, they need to preserve but improve it. Not just, well, we did that and now we're just going to keep adding levels again, so we eventually have to roll back and do it all over again and make everyone feel like shit. That doesn't feel great to me.
No.
So, I suggest that we do not have a new level cap. We stay at 60. You hit 60, you stay 60. So, let me go into the next point so you don't, bite the screen. The WoD, Legion, and Shadowlands style storytelling with strong characters and lots of RP segments will get us involved in the new plot. There will be quote-unquote leveling, but we're not leveling our character. We're already 60. We're already the heroes of Azeroth or whatever, and various other planets that we've saved and or wrecked, depending on your position. And so then that lets us place emphasis on storytelling and getting us into the new plot of next expansion. And so instead of leveling to 70, we would still be 60, and the new leveling, quote unquote, is just the introduction to the next expansion. And so what that means is here is how I would have it set up. I know this is going to be a lot of me talking, but
it's okay.
It's a very thorough topic that I.
It is. It's very thorough. I have my opinions, but I'll save them until you're ready for discussion. So
okay. So let me get through these, and then we can kind of talk about it. So, a new reputation when you get into the new expansion is added to the rep system, and the reputation system is going to be talked about in the next podcast because that beast is an entirely separate thing. But very related to this. So wait for next episode. I'm sorry.
Thing.
It really is. Yeah. But a new reputation is added to the rep system. And that's very important because just like, like Shadowlands, for example, there's the Night Fae reps and there's the Carrion reps. And, there's reps for each one. We start getting rep even now. Without any changes, when you start questing in a zone, you start getting rep for that zone's faction, whatever it is. And that necessarily won't change. But what would change is an emphasis on rep and story. And so what we would do here is gain rep from the initial campaigns. And that is like our rep grind. Sort of. It's not a grind, it's just us going through the story. It would teach us the new expansion systems. So the artifacts from Legion, for example, they were done pretty well, I think, in a way. This would be like a tutorial. This is literally a tutorial for the expansion. This is the new systems. This is how to use this borrowed power or whatever that they have and how to, use it for your class or spec or however they have it set up at that time. And when we finish that initial campaign, that tutorial, we get a decent set of gear by the end of it as a reward for completing all of it that has us ready for the first raid and current end content. Low level raid, of course. I'm not talking about heroic and mythic and stuff. I'm talking like LFR normal-ish. And if you recall, if you've done any Covenant stuff in Shadowlands, you get something similar by completing your Covenant. You get pieces of your gear as you progress for the Covenant set. That has a set bonus. You can upgrade it and everything. It's actually a pretty neat set. It has some neat world bonuses. And this is what that would be. It's something you could take as progression. You could get it as you go instead of getting random pieces of questing gear that you vendor in 2 levels. And then you can use that, as a start for your next raid system. And the benefit here is once you've done all that, because that sounds pretty meaty. Once you've done that on your main, you can skip that on your alts. You get an achievement that says, hey, I did this. I did the story already. I've done the reputation system. I've done the tutorial. I know how to use it. If you don't want to do it again, you just hit, I've heard this story before. A system we've already had in the game. It jumps you to the end, and you're given your set of gear on your alt, and there you go, off you go.
They made a really, really good method for implementing this in Shadowlands when they implemented Renown. You don't have to level. You get your progression, your feeling of achievement with your levels of Renown.
Exactly.
You don't have to level.
Exactly. And so you could level other things instead of your character. Because in my mind, it feels kind of funky to keep gaining levels when we're already seen as the hero of Azeroth. You know what I mean? We're already supposed to be these heroes. And even if you don't want to be a hero, you've still leveled. I'm not taking away the 1 to 60. That's the next section we'll get to here in a minute. That's still there. But I'm talking about when you hit 60, you feel accomplished because that's the end of that grind. And this would solve that dislike for a lot of people not liking the constant leveling grind, because now, instead of worrying about, well, I'm only 58, I can't go get into the raid, even though I've already done all the story content, but I skipped half of it because I was trying to get through it as fast as possible type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. That won't be there. If you've at least done it once and you're on an alt, you can just immediately go get in the raid.
Yeah, and I know it kind of segues into our next segment of this, but they kind of did that, except that they had the 10 levels.
Uh-huh.
You get through BFA, and then you're just in endgame.
Yep. You mean Shadowlands?
Well, no, they did it with the Shadowlands expansion. You're 50.
Yeah.
That's it. You finish. When they implemented the Exile's Reach, you do Exile's Reach, you do the previous, most recent expansion, and then you do Endgame.
Oh, you mean for the new player stuff. Got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean new players, or old players can do it too. But yeah, exactly. In a way, they've kind of already skipped that. Like, we're taking kind of a mash of systems we already have and using them in conjunction to improve something that I think would make everything feel stronger, because it puts an emphasis on the story, the plot, the new systems that are coming with that expansion. The new stuff, the stuff we should be excited about.
The RPG side of this MMO.
Yeah, the second half of what this game is, MMO RPG. We're technically an
All
RPG.
That storytelling that people work so hard on.
I know.
The interactions of the characters, all of that. Yep. Why am I going into this dungeon? Well, this is why.
Exactly. So this would take that to the next level, and it's putting emphasis on that instead of the leveling. And so we're treating this as the introduction to the expansion story plot. We're taught how to use the new system gimmicks, and we end feeling prepared, rather than as it is now, where we feel like we're being kind of just freed from chains and now allowed to do the new endgame content. Leave leveling to new alts and not ones you've already put hours into. You know what I mean?
I agree. I don't know if it's a psychological thing, but being max level has a certain euphoria to it. Anything you're doing once you are max level, that feels like this content is important.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This content is, the most recent, the end game. I'm not trying to get through anything to get to the end game content. This is the content.
Yep. This is the content. Exactly.
And I really think that if Blizzard approached it that way, that a lot of the people that rush through the content will stop doing that.
Exactly. And even if they do, they aren't punished. Because I know a lot of people play the game just to raid, just to do the competitive stuff. And you know what? It is an MMO. That's perfectly fine in my book.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. However, this would remove the need for them to be like, oh my gosh, I just want to go raid, but I have to level this character from 50 to 60 or whatever. Or in this case, 60 to 70 is what it would be. And I can't because it's going to take me like 3 days to do it, and my team's already leaving without me, and all I want to do is raid.
And both of us coming from raiding guilds for several expansions in a row, we get that. We were there.
I used to raid a lot. I used to raid every day. I was a raid leader for Mythic Hellfire Citadel in Warlords of Draenor. We sold moose runs. I know how it works.
Yeah, I ran a raiding guild in Wrath and then moved on into Cataclysm, still doing it, and I get it.
Yep. I raided from Mop all the way halfway through Legion. I get it. So
that was I missed a lot of content in Cataclysm because I was rushing and only did enough to hit, what was it, 85, 90? Something like that?
Yeah, 85 was Cata, 90 was Panda.
Yeah. Those are the two weird ones because they were only 5 levels.
Yeah,
but
the two that were only 5.
I always forget, like, what is it?
Yep.
But, yeah, I did just enough. I think I did like 2.5 zones to get my max level, and then I was done.
Exactly.
Like, I don't have to go do that.
Yep.
So
a lot of people do that just because they want to get to the end game. And on one hand, I don't blame them, because I know that's why some people play. And so this appeases, I think, both crowds, because you no longer have that leveling restriction. You do the storyline once, you're immediately freed from it. You never have to touch it again. Ever, 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 if you don't want to. Or, if you want to do it, it's there, but it's not required because it's not for leveling.
Exactly.
It's just to see the story at that point. It's optional after the first time you do it. So,
yeah.
It's still
with their approach for alt-friendliness moving forward, I don't see why they can't just do that.
Exactly, because this ties in perfectly with the Chromie time system, which is our next little segment that I'm going to jump into here, the 1 to 60 section. That's not being removed. You still have to level a new alt. You gonna go make a new druid, you're probably going to start at 1 or 10 or whatever you are, if you're an allied race or something. You still got to level it. But there is a cap. There's an end in sight, shall we say. So, for that, the leveling stops at 60. Just like I said in the first part, you're leveling 1 to 60. And so, like the system they've already created, and they've already said that they're going to do this back in a couple BlizzCons ago when they were talking about the leveling squish, and I sure hope that they continue this. They haven't said anything about it. But expansions get added to the Chromie time system once they're old, so that players can experience them again as leveling content for the 1 to 60. So, and this is not even speculation, this is what they said they were going to do right now. Shadowlands is supposed to be added to the Chromie time system once 10.0 comes out, assuming they stick to that. That means, as a little level 30, or whatever the requirement's gonna be, I can go level through Threads of Fate, or the storyline, and use that to get to 60. Which would be cool. Because... that
would be pretty awesome.
Exactly. And then old content becomes open world, where with Chromie time, everything scales dynamically, and this is my next point, I want Chromie time to remove the entry-level requirements to zones.
Please. Please.
Please.
I don't care if the storyline doesn't make sense because the storyline was written linearly. Just let me do it in any order.
Exactly. The reason that Blizzard has wanted to keep... In fact, before I even get to that, I'll preface it with this. In case you're unaware, when you level in Chromie time or without Chromie time, it doesn't matter. There is still an entry-level requirement to every single zone in the game. Now... the level squish is what made the ability happen to go to certain to zones, rather, to go each expansion, rather, at level 10. So I can go to Northrend at 10, I can go to Outland at 10, I can go to Warlords at 10, you know, if you've leveled...
it's amazing.
It's amazing. However, the zones themselves are still level restricted. If I go to Northrend, I can only start at Howling Fjord or Borean Tundra if I'm level 10. I can't go do Ice Crown, I can't go do Storm Peaks. I have to be in those two zones first until I'm the high enough level, which has not changed from the original 1 to 120 leveling system. Chromie time does not affect that. Chromie time makes it so you can level until 50 currently. It'll be 60 later. Until 60 in any given expansion. Like, if you turn off Chromie time and try to go level in Northrend or Outland at level 30, you won't get very far because their cap is 30. In the open world, without Chromie time, they do not scale. They only go to 30. All Chromie time does is add the ability to stay there until max level. It does not change the entry-level requirements. And this is what I'm wanting because they have it set the way they do because they want people who, A, have not quested through these areas to experience it properly.
Yeah, they want you to experience the story.
Exactly. And I completely get that. But what
and
on the... Oh, go ahead.
I'm doing a lot of talking. That was their pitch for Chromie time. You can go back and experience the story of any expansion and level completely from 10 to 50 within that expansion storyline. You can... Yes. By the time you reach 50, you have completed the story.
And that is true. That is exactly what has happened
But
within restrictions. With the restrictions. So, and something to point out, this is only available to people who already have a max level character. If you are new to World of Warcraft, you cannot go level in Northrend until you have leveled through Exile's Reach on your first character, gone through BFA on your first character, and then you hit Shadowlands. When you do that on your very first character, then you can go turn on Chromie time. That's something people don't really talk about, but you can't go do old world stuff if you're new, which is fine.
Nope.
I'm completely fine with that. New people are pushed into the newer content so they know what's going on. I get it. That's perfectly fine because that keeps people out of the slog of being like, I have to go do all this old stuff. Whatever, that doesn't even, it's not even relevant or whatever to the new game. Fine. But that's my point. This is people who have already leveled, already played the game, and likely are veterans who want to go level in the old stuff.
Yeah.
Not people who need to see the story in a certain order. And that's kind of the funny thing to me is you don't need to be forced. You get quests that tell you what zone to go to next for the story. It's already in the game. There are breadcrumb quests to each zone. If you go level in Northrend, it's going to tell you which zone it wants you to go to next. So that entry requirement shouldn't need to be there if you're there for the story.
So if I can see it kind of from both angles. I can see it from Blizzard's angle, and I can see it, as a veteran player who's sick and tired of doing Borean Tundra the 8 millionth time.
Just to get to Storm Peaks, one of my favorite zones,
But, something that maybe they can consider, I don't know what your opinion on this would be, but maybe the first time you level through an expansion, you have to do it in order.
Yep, that is...
Further leveling in that expansion can be done in any order you choose. I think that would be a fair compromise.
That is exactly my idea that I had.
There you go.
It looks like I didn't have it in these particular notes, but I talked about that exact thing when the level squished in my video, my opinion video on that. So I did do one when it was coming out. I did not like the entry-level requirements, so my suggestion was to do a Lore Master achievement. When you do the Lore Master, meaning you've quested in every zone we'll just use Northrend because it's easy.
Yep.
Then you can do it in any order you want. You already have to do that for Shadowlands. That unlocks Threads of Fate. You do everything in Shadowlands once, you unlock the Threads of Fate version, you can do whatever you want. Except...
And then, if I want to level through the Argent tournament, I can.
Exactly. My only gripe about the Shadowlands Threads of Fate version is it removes the story. It removes the campaign from Threads of Fate. I don't like that, but that's a Threads of Fate discussion. I'm just taking the good parts out of it. I like the freedom. I don't like that they remove the story.
Let's add that to our list, though.
Go for it if you would.
Yeah, I'll add that.
Yeah, throw that in there. We need to talk about Threads of Fate in a different episode. Because I've got some opinions on that one. Both good and bad, I promise you. I like Threads of Fate a lot. I just think it definitely needs some improvement.
Yep.
But, yeah. As far as the future of leveling, I want old world content to become open world. I think that would make the game feel so much more alive. Because you can go wherever you want. You can make... As soon as, I'm fine with the 1 to 10 cap. I'm fine with that. That's fine.
I'm okay with that.
As soon as you hit level 10, if, I don't know, Storm Peaks, Frostfire Ridge, or Vazir are your favorite zones in the game, you can go straight there.
Yes. That'd be so nice.
Right? I was so excited for that. I wanted to level in specific zones. To do thematic leveling. I want to do all the dragon zones. I want to do all the fiery zones. I want to do all the snow zones. How fun would that be?
Yeah. What would be really fun? Not having to do the Death Knight starter zone over and over again.
No! Oh boy, yeah. There's another meat to chew. Oh. Yeah,
those, just my opinion. Obviously, these are entirely opinion pieces, but the hero classes should have the same option that all the other classes have, where you can choose your traditional starting zone or Exile's Reach.
I agree.
I don't know why they didn't do that. It's not like they were removing the old starting zones. Just
that's kind of the funny thing. It was in beta. People complained. I don't know why, but people complained, and I know it was in beta because I was testing it. I was there. I've been in every beta since MOP. I've been helping with testing.
The only thing I can think of, like, that people would complain about is that you start at level 1. Yeah. Okay, so you're a hero class. You don't want to start at level 1. Well, if you do the old version, the traditional starting zone, you start at level 8. But if you do Exile's Reach, you start at level 1.
Yeah. But I don't understand why that option wouldn't be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand why you would complain about that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know either, man. I don't know.
Whatever.
But
maybe tell us what you think down in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Yes, please. We want to hear your raging comments, please.
Yes.
Boost my algorithm.
I'll comment. Don't worry. I'll reply.
You may not like it, but we'll reply.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you're just a stinky butt poop head. There you go.
I love your comeback. Stinky butt poop head. Yep.
I am not infantile, you stinky butt poop head.
That's amazing. I love your insults. They're the best.
Or try.
But
oh man.
But on that note, so I can keep going here. I want everything to be open world. I want them to remove the entry level requirement. And we have an example of this already in game, and it's not Threads of Fate. It's Legion.
Mm-hmm.
Legion.
It's so beautiful.
You can go to any of the 4 zones at level 10. Suramar is still 45, but it wasn't a leveling zone. It was endgame content, which is fine. Mm-hmm. I'm totally fine with endgame stuff remaining endgame if that's how they want to keep it.
Argus is still endgame.
Fine. Exactly.
Can't go to Argus. It makes sense.
I would like to level there.
Yeah.
So, but
that would be nice, but we get why that's not an option.
I get it. It's fine.
That's perfectly fine.
Exactly. But this would differentiate Chromie time from non-Chromie time, because as it is now, the only difference in Chromie time and non-Chromie time is Chromie time lets you go to 50. Or in this case, feature terms, 60. Without Chromie time, you have those old level requirements, for the caps and stuff. But in my theory version, that would differentiate the two. Without Chromie time, the entry level requirements are still there and the zones are still static, so you could still do them linearly if you want. Because options are good.
I like options.
Thank
you very much.
So for those of you that don't want to be able to go to any zone that you want, and you want to be forced into a strict leveling requirement path for some reason, you can. You still could do that. You just turn off Chromie time.
Yep.
So to me, that's what Chromie time should be. It lets you go into a dynamic version, because not everybody wants dynamic. I get it. Dynamic is a little funky, and even in my own leveling, it's not consistent. I get it. That's why it's dynamic. It can be frustrating. But that's a con. The pro is you have freedom. You can go wherever you want.
I like my freedom.
I like my freedom even with its cons.
Yes.
So options, people. Upgrades.
Yes.
Options. That's what I want. Because it would be a questing system like Legion. I want it for all zones. I'm totally fine if they want to tack on an achievement required for it. I would immediately have it available for me if they did, because I already have all the achievements. Thank you. So.
And we're working on mine, don't worry.
Yep, and we're working on hers. So it's not like, I'm talking from no experience here. Leveling is what I do probably 70% of the time I play this game. I love leveling. I'm going to keep leveling. But I think there should be an end goal.
I agree.
Not infinite. If I want to do more leveling, I'll just make a new character. You know what I mean?
Yep. I think, doing the 60 cap is beautiful. There's no reason to change it now that we have Chromie time.
Yep. We have the system in place. Mm-hmm. And, like, with all that tied together, honestly, it makes me feel like people would appreciate the new expansions more because it's not gated behind leveling. If they're already leveled, to 60.
I agree.
And it lets the Blizzard team put emphasis and more energy on everything in that content because there's no leveling. The leveling has system, the scaling, the zones that need to level you. That's already been done. You're already 60. It just think of it like you level through Shadowlands, you hit 60, and then 10.0 comes out. You don't need to level anymore, and they don't have to worry about implementing scaling and leveling and balancing like that because that's already been done. That's what the previous zones are for. That's what Chromie time is for. Now, all they have to focus on is cool new gear, the new story, the new raids. Maybe we'll get more than 3 tiers, Lots of plot, cool. More interactions between, characters and stuff. More
maybe the dreaded player housing.
No, there's a hot button topic. Because I feel like it would free us and them up. I'm not just saying this for me.
Yeah.
This would benefit everyone because I feel like it would make it a whole lot better. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that disagree. But as someone who loves leveling, I'm tired of having to level the new expansion. There, I said it.
I agree. Because we do. We literally get into a new expansion, and then all of those level 50s, the 300 some odd, 100 some odd that Kraken has, every single one of those gets run through the new expansion.
Yep.
That's a lot of leveling.
Yep. And sure, I'm the extreme version here, but even someone with 2, 3, 4 alts, it gets old. Because if you want to go make a new alt and you want to go raid in current content, but you say you want to switch from warrior to boomy to druid, you gotta level if you don't already have it leveled.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. So I think this could be a good solution for that.
I think these would be some great improvements.
I think so too. And we can talk about, Threads of Fate in a different episode. But I think taking what we have in, the good parts of Threads of Fate, the good parts of Legion leveling, and the good parts of Chromie time, with a little bit of Covenant and a renown system for reputation that we're going to talk about in the next one. It'll make sense, I promise. Then combining all that together, I think could be beautiful because there's a lot of great systems in WoW, but they're attached to some not good systems.
Yeah. It's hard to appreciate them to the fullest of their ability when you've got these other things distracting you.
Exactly. So that's what I have on that. I actually went through that a lot quicker than I thought I would.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Want to talk about our second topic, or will they have to wait until next week?
They're going to have to wait, homies. Yep.
Yeah, totally went there.
Exactly. So I can tell you what the next episode is going to be right now. It's titled The Player Friendly Reputation. Not alt friendly. Not alt friendly. Player friendly.
Sup players?
Sup players. Exactly. So, well, do you have anything else you want to add on this system? While we're thinking about it? I know it was mostly me doing a lot of talking, but this is something I'm quite passionate about.
No, I think it was great. So, those improvements would be amazing. I think it could really even out the leveling experience for new people. Mm-hmm. Make that first time requirement be per expansion, whatever. I think that would work very well. Mm-hmm. And just let us play the game however we want.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
We
will play it. Just give us our freedom within the world.
Exactly. I want to play all the content. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to play
repeatedly.
Repeatedly, exactly. I even want to do it repeatedly. Just let me do it in a different order so it's not the same every time.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Please and thank you. We will love you forever.
Exactly. So, well, if that's all you have to add, I think we'll wrap this one up then. Anything else? Think you're good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that was this episode. I want to hear your hot button topics and how much you hate me down in the comments below, please.
Yeah, we'll be reading them. Don't worry.
We will. I do read my comments, and even if I don't answer you, I do read them. So
yes, YouTube yells at us and tells us they're there. So
most of the time, it doesn't tell me all of them. I have to go to the video and actually look at them sometimes.
Well,
but
that's right.
I don't know what
I
determines
them anyway. So
of course you do. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, remember, it's never too latte.
It's never too latte.
That's my line. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the part where I ask you to like, comment, and subscribe. Doing at least one of those gets my videos recommended more. The higher these numbers are, the more YouTube likes me, and that helps me bring you more coffee-fueled content. I thank you so much for any support you choose to give.